Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today is the second. This is actually the second video of today. So if you didn't see the one from earlier, just wait till the end of this one, and it'll show up on your screen at the end. But if you are new to my videos, please click that subscribe button because I would like to get to 200 subscribers. I would like you to win your championship, and I know you want to win your championship. So if you subscribe, you're getting a way higher chance of winning your fantasy football league, unless I'm in it, of course, because then you're going to lose. But this is a buy or sell 7th round ADP video. This pretty much means, will I buy or sell a player at the certain average draft position they're at? So at the 701, will I buy a certain player or will I sell them? Will I draft them or will I not draft them? Will I kick them to the curb? You know what I'm saying? So let's get into the video. So the first player at the 701 is Mr. Eric Ebron. And if you guys watch a lot of my mock draft videos, you probably already know the answer, and that's fucking sell. I can't stand Eric Ebron. Now that Jack Doyle's back, Eric Ebron is just going to be crawl back into irrelevancy again. He was the only tight end on the team besides Mo Cox last year, and he was just scoring touchdowns left and right. He was going crazy. Eric Ebron was looking like one of the best tight ends in the league. But now that Jack Doyle's gone, he's going to take a lot of that production back. Eric Ebron not as good of a blocker as Jack Doyle, so that means Jack Doyle will be on the field more, and I'm not really willing to draft Eric Ebron when there's other tight ends that I would rather draft over him in this round. So, or even later. So, for that reason, he's a sell. Now at the 702, we have Mr. A-Rob, Allen Robinson, Chicago wideout, and he is a sell as well. Now, a lot of people I've seen, they like drafting Allen Robinson. Now, I know he's the number one on the Bears, and the Bears are a pretty good team. But I just don't trust Mitch Trubisky enough because I think he likes throwing it around. He'll throw it to Allen Robinson. He'll throw it to Taylor Gabriel. He'll throw it to everyone. He's a nice guy. He likes throwing the ball to Tariq Cohen. He's gonna love handing the ball off to Mr. David Montgomery. And David Montgomery is gonna be a great running back this year. So I just don't really trust Chicago to have a wide receiver one that is consistently the wide receiver one each game. Some games Gabriel's going to get more. Some games Robinson's going to get more. Some games Tariq Cohen's going to catch the ball 10 times because that's just how it works. Because the Chicago offense is, in my opinion, kind of hard to predict. So I'm kind of off on Allen Robinson here. There's other guys in this round that I'd much rather get than him. So for that reason, and even later, that there's no reason to even go him. At the 703, we have Mr. Christian Kirk, rookie wide receiver, who is now on the Arizona Cardinals. In my opinion, he's a buy. If I was to draft any wide receiver from the Cardinals, it would be Christian Kirk. Now, a lot of people they like Fitz. You know, some people like Larry Fitz. He's an old man. I hate him because I in fantasy because I drafted him last year way too early. But he's a great man. You know, he's a respectable man. But Christian Kirk, he's the new young blood. We've got the two young bloods of Mr. Kyler Murray and Mr. Christian Kirk, two young guys, going to be connecting on a lot of passes, I believe. And I've seen a lot of tape from training camp. I love watching the Twitter videos. They're like 7 seconds long, and they just make you nut everywhere because now you think that this guy's a god. And in my opinion, I've seen that with Christian Kirk. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a great year this year. And if Christian Kirk is my wide receiver 3, flex option, I'm pretty confident in him. Am I confident in him being my wide receiver 2? Probably not. But as a guy that you're drafting in the 7th round, I do like the upside on an emerging offense in the NFL in the Arizona Cardinals. I have to Mr. Christian Kirk here. Well, we didn't pick him actually. This is not a mock draft, Nick. All right. But at the 704, we have Mr. Matt Ryan, quarterback, Atlanta Falcons, and he's a buy. Now, I love Matt Ryan. Now, a lot of people they don't like Matt Ryan. They ain't about to see Matt Ryan win because Matt Ryan last year was the quarterback 2 in some formats. Matt Ryan was playing great. In the 7th round, if you don't pick Matt Ryan, you have a hole in your head because Matt Ryan is going to be really good this season. He is 13 of 16 games in a dome. Okay? If you know what that means the ball is not going to be wobbling. That means the ball is not going to be moving left, moving right. He's not going to be overthrowing guys because of the wind or underthrowing them because the wind is coming back at him. He doesn't have to worry about the wind 13 times. And he's a great arm. He's still in his prime. He's a great quarterback, and he throws a lot of touchdowns. Now, he's not very mobile, so he's not one of those cheat code mobile quarterbacks. He probably will barely run the fucking ball that much. He can't catch it either. We saw him run out as a wide receiver, and he did not do very well. But that's fine because he's a quarterback. and he's gonna throw a lot of passes. He's gonna throw a lot of passes to Julio. He has great wideouts. He has a good running back if he stayed healthy to keep the defenses guessing, and he has an okay backup running back in Ito Smith. But I'm very confident in Matt Ryan for this year, so for that reason, he's a buy at the 704 price. I would even be willing to pick him at the end of the 6th round. So at the 705, we have Mr. Darrell Henderson now. I believe I talked about Darrell Henderson in yesterday's video, but the ADPs are moving so much that some people are getting in videos twice. So Darrell Henderson is a running back for the Rams, the LA Rams, not the St. Louis Rams. That's what was stuck in my head. So he's the backup running back on the team, right? So you're like, oh, why are you drafting a backup running back in the 7th round, Nick? Why would you do that? Why would you do something so stupid like that? Well, that's because Todd Gurley's knee is absolutely fucked up. It's verklempt. It's fucked. His right knee, he's got that, or not right knee or left knee. I don't know which one it is. He's got that knee arthritis. He has arthritis of the knee. He has a knee of someone who's been running for 50 years straight away from a dinosaur. That's what he has. His knee is absolutely certifiably fucked. So he may be getting only like 50% of the touches. Now, the one thing that hurts my brain about Darrell Henderson is that I do know that if the Rams are getting blown out, if the Rams are getting blown out, Darrell Henderson is going to be in the game. But that's barely ever going to happen. So if the Rams are very close, Darrell Henderson will be sitting on the pine. Unless Todd Gurley is really injured, then Todd Gurley will just run it in and score because we know Todd Gurley, still even with the knee fucked, is a great running back. But he is not going to be kept touching the ball so much. I think Darrell Henderson's going to get the opportunity. They drafted him highly in the draft. They drafted him in the first 4 rounds because they know that Todd Gurley is kind of fucked. And so for that reason, I like Darrell Henderson. Now at the 706, we have the second quarterback of the round out of 3, and that's Mr. Drew Brees, Saints QB. And we like drafting Mr. Drew Brees. He is a buy. He's on a great team. They just paid Michael Thomas the bag. They gave him $100 million. His best wideout just got $100 million. Drew Brees, the Saints and Drew Brees are in a win now mode. If Drew Brees is getting up there in age. He may retire soon, so they must win now. When they have Drew Brees, they got Kamara, they have Michael Thomas. Like I said, they have Latavius Murray later in this round. They have a bunch of good pieces. And I think that Drew Brees is going to be slinging the ball a lot. Now, you might tell me, oh, Nick, Alvin Kamara steals a lot of his touchdowns. Oh, Nick, this, that, and the other thing, about Drew Brees. Oh, he's getting old. That his age doesn't really affect it too much. But Alvin Kamara is a running back who likes catching passes. And you want to know who throws Alvin Kamara the passes? It's Drew Brees. He'll dump it off to Drew Brees will dump it off to Alvin Kamara, and Alvin Kamara will score a 10-yard touchdown from a reception, and that is a touchdown for Drew Brees if you didn't know. So I like Drew Brees a lot this year, and I'm definitely confident in drafting him at the 706. I prefer Matt Ryan, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, and you may end up with Drew Brees, and that's perfectly fine with me. So at the 707, we have Mr. Will Fuller, and he is a sell. Now, Will Fuller, if you have the cojones to draft a guy that you know is going to be hurt probably for more than half of the season, then you can draft Will Fuller. Will Fuller is probably going to score 25 points 6 games in a row and then tear his ACL. He might be sitting in the locker room just looking at his phone, and his phone will fall on his foot and his foot will break or something like that. Will Fuller's just very injury prone, so we can't trust that out of Will Fuller. But besides the injury proneness, I think Will Fuller is going to be a guy that you really want to, that would be a target in the draft if he wasn't injury prone. But like, I don't know what I just said, but the fact that he's so injury prone, I really do like to avoid Will Fuller. But that's about it on Will Fuller. So at the 708, we have Jared Cook, Saints tight end, and he is a sell. Now you might tell me, oh, Drew Brees and Jared Cook, it's going to be like Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was way better than Jared Cook is right now when he was on the Saints. Now I think Jared Goff can get it done. I'll pick Jared Goff in the 8th round or in the 9th round. If he was there, sure, I'd go ahead and pick him. But I just don't see him falling that far. I like other tight ends around this area too, as well, and some guy later in this round that is a tight end. So for that reason, I'm just out on Jared Cook now. I'll probably end up drafting him because he may end up falling to that spot. Or all the tight ends that I like will be picked before Jared Cook, and I'll just be like, fuck it. Jared Cook helped me win a lot last year. He's a pretty good tight end, but I think that this transition to the Saints is going to be beneficial for him. But will it put him into the area where I'm really loving picking him? No. So for that reason, it's a sell. At the 709, we have Mr. Austin Ekeler, running back, San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, sorry. All these teams moving and stuff in years past, I'm just stupid. So he's at the 709. Now Melvin Gordon is holding out. He stuck his foot down. He said, "Motherfucker, whoever the GM is of this team, I am going to sit out. I'm going to hold out because I want the bag." And Philip Rivers said, "We don't need a fucking running back." He said, "Fuck you, Melvin Gordon," even though he knows they need Melvin Gordon to win. I think that Austin Eckler will be pretty good. Him and Justin Jackson will be pretty good and worth a buy here. Austin Eckler is still has standalone value, even if Mr. Melvin Gordon does end up signing that contract. He's still a pass catching running back on the team. He'll score a touchdown every couple games, and he'll be some guy that if you're in quite the pickle and you need to start him, you won't be too disappointed that you had to start him. But for the first 8 weeks, if Melvin Gordon's gone, I'm very confident starting Austin Eckler as my flex or as my RB2 if I went low on the running backs early in the draft. So I like Austin Eckler here, the 709. So at the 710, we have another Saint. This is the Saint round. The Saint round. So we're talking about Mr. Latavius Murray at the 710, running back formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, formerly of the Oakland Raiders. Now, he is the running back 2 on the Saints, and I know you're thinking, "Oh, Nick, he's a running back 2, just like you were thinking before with Darrell Henderson," and we're buying him because I think he's going to be in the Mark Ingram role from last season where Mark Ingram was snagging touchdowns from Mr. Alvin Kamara, and Latavius Murray is better than Mark Ingram, in my opinion. In real life and in fantasy, he will be better. He's a better player, a better athlete, he can catch the ball. That's something that Mark Ingram really is not that good at. And I think that he's going to end up being worth a 7th round pick, some guy that you can just throw into your flex and get a happy 8, 9, 10 points and just be done with it. And you're not going to be too worried about that. At the 7-11, we have Mr. Vance McDonald, tight end, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Vance McDonald I like a lot, so he's a buy. He's like the tight end that I target in every single draft. In the 7th or 8th round, if I see Mr. Vance McDonald there, I fucking hammer the button. I'm like, draft, draft, draft. You fucking tap the shit out of that button. You want Vance McDonald. Now, you might say, "Nick, why do you like Vance McDonald more than Jared Cook?" Now, I like Vance McDonald more than Jared Cook because Vance McDonald is on not a better team, I would say, but on a team that needs people to catch the ball because it can't just be Juju out there. And it can't because I think that Vance McDonald is just going to be catching a shit ton of passes. Because if you combine Vance McDonald and Jesse James from last season, you combine them two, made them one guy, then they would be a top 5 tight end. Now, obviously, you can't do that in real life, and Vance McDonald is not gonna just be catching 100 or get 120 targets like that version of McDonald and Jesse James together. But that doesn't matter because even if he gets 90 targets, he'll probably score a bunch of touchdowns and get a bunch of yards and be quite useful for your fantasy team on a team that could be a playoff team this year in the Steelers. Personally, I think the Browns are going to win that division, but I'm sipping the shit out of that Kool-Aid of the Browns are going to be a good team. So I like Vance McDonald at the 7-11. Now at the 7-12, we have the player that I hate the most in fantasy football, according to a commenter who told me that I was a dickhead for hating Carson Wentz, and I am quite the dickhead because I'm selling Carson Wentz right here at the 7-12. Now, I don't hate Carson Wentz, I'm being honest with you. I just don't feel too confident in him. He is very injury prone, and I don't like drafting injury prone players. Now, I know this year, if he stayed healthy, he may end up being someone who I look like an idiot not drafting him at the 7-12, but I just believe that he may end up getting hurt and that he is just not the same guy he was in the years past. So that's why I'm pretty much out on Carson Wentz here at the end of the 7th round, even in the 8th or 9th round. I'd rather just go with a guy with a lot more higher upside, in my opinion, than Carson Wentz. Now, Carson Wentz could easily finish as a top 5 guy, but I'm just not on board with Carson Wentz. So thank you guys all for watching the video. It would mean a lot that if you enjoyed this video, to just go down below and click that subscribe button, or click on Johnny Manziel, who's either on the screen now or on the screen in a few seconds, and click that subscribe button, click the notification bell to get notified for all the videos, and leave a comment down below because the comments, I read all the comments and I answered all of them. So thank you guys for all for watching. Hopefully you watched the mock draft earlier. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you have a great goddamn day, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.